Hi, Hater. Hey, Brooka. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Georgia. Great, Nancy's here. Heather. Ah. Been a while, hasn't it, Heather? Vaguely. Hey, strawberries. I literally just got out of the shower like 20 minutes ago. I literally just showered. Okay. Didn't blow. No, I never blow dry my hair. Hi, Killface. You gonna stick around for more than 2 minutes today, Killface? More than a single sentence? Yeah. I'm around. So how's everybody? Randy? Game we playing? For the channel, I've been playing Cyberpunk. I've been playing like Let's Play of Cyberpunk, like recorded videos, and I started Symphonic Rain for Saturdays. The Saturday streams are a visual novel called Symphonic Rain. Sorry, Killface. Narrative game? Yeah. So like the Saturday streams, you mean? Yeah. The Saturday streams are Symphonic Rain. No, I haven't filed my taxes yet. I keep putting it off. I keep procrastinating, putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Excuse me. Symphonic Rain. Uh, you live in a city where it's always raining. You play a dude named Chris. Live in a city where it's always raining. Attending a music school. And you have to find someone to do a to partner with for your final. You need a singer. You you play a rare instrument, and you need to find a singer to partner with you for your final. Kind of instrument. It's a fortel, a an instrument that doesn't actually exist. Some sort of weird, like almost, it's like some sort of weird semi magical um, instrument. and I suck at it. Because it is a music game, you are supposed to play the music yourself using the your computer keyboard, ASDF JKL colon. It's like, you know, basically the resting keys for your hands when you type properly. You're supposed to use those, have your hands on those keys, and piano or guitar or something. Probably closer to keyboard. But it makes noises that like a piano wouldn't make. It's synthy. Not really. I don't know how to describe it. Hey, nostalgia. I honestly kind of don't know how to describe it because it does. You do make noise with it that you wouldn't be able to make on like a on a piano. So I guess maybe like a keyboard because you can, like with a keyboard you can sort of like turn on almost like sound effects, like with an electronic keyboard. But then you can also make it sound like a piano. If you looked at it. Yeah. Also, there's a fairy. The game you also have a fairy in your apartment. Like your bestie. Kinda. She lives with you, and she's stuck in your apartment. So every day you get home, you go home and update her about your day. So I guess kind of best friend. Also, you have a girlfriend who doesn't go to school. She lives back in your old hometown. So you have a girlfriend they haven't seen in almost 3 years, but you do write letters to each other every week. Your girlfriend's sister attends the school with you, and is weirdly worried that if you pair with a girl singer, that you'll leave her sister for the new girl. Hey, Vicky. Where's Unc? I was 5 minutes late, so maybe she thought I wasn't coming. Tax inheritance? Probably. Actually, do we have an inheritance tax? Okay, so actually, here in Canada, money received from an inheritance is not considered taxable income by the CRA. Hey, heck. Instead, what happens is the estate itself is taxed. So the estate itself is taxed before any money is sent out. So have you filed taxes? Didn't do it last year. It's been a couple of years now. Hey, Clappage. You take these streams? I'm glad. I told you, Killface. I'm a procrastinator. This ain't no amateur hour shit. You have to pay in taxes every year. I don't know if I would have had to pay anything last year, considering I was unemployed for most of it. And only on unemployment for like 2 months. Won't they push to get a part-time job outside for physical and mental health? Hey, Uncle. Hey, Aurora. Killface was worried about you. She was all like, "Where's Uncle Buck?" And that is true, Killface. Back when I worked at Rogers, full-time job, so benefits were included. And that did include dental. And I still didn't go. Because I'm awful. You were pooping, Uncle? Good to know, good to know. Thanks for telling us. It's appreciated. Hey, Donna. Las Vegas. Nice, nice. You seem like a nice guy. Eh, it's fake. Like fake nice guys. Anywho. Rocks from All Express aren't any less spiritual, but I have to spend $13 all at once. Or AliExpress. I don't sell enough beach rocks to have to pay taxes. Eee, hey, Jerry. How goes my day? Overslept again. Hey, Vanna. No special shirt? No, I just grabbed the first shirt from. I just grabbed the first shirt that out of my hamper. Did my laundry last night. I gotta blow my nose. Give me a minute. There we go. We're fun friends. We are. Can I eat something for us with a fork on a live like that carrot cake you had before? I mean, not today, no. No, I didn't throw Celia in with my laundry. My mom doesn't think it's a good idea. I had mentioned to my mom that I planned on it, and she wasn't sure it's a good idea. She did actually give me a little bit of baking soda. Soccer mesh bag. I do actually have a mesh bag. I have a She-Ra t-shirt, and when I got the She-Ra t-shirt, it came with like a mesh bag that you put it in for whenever you need to wash it. I don't wear the shirt very often. It's a little bit smaller than I'd like, and also like I don't know, that is kind of a pain in the ass for washing. Goddamn $5 and sending you ice cream. I think what my mom suggested was like a little bit of baking soda, very small amount of laundry detergent, a little bit of water, then use like an old toothbrush to like miss having cat. I do. I do miss it, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna look something up real quick. Alright, so people on the internet do say that it can be thrown in a washing machine. How's work going? Hey, Bella. Eh, only 2 shifts this week. 11 to 9 tomorrow, so I may or may not be on. Or no, 1 to 9, sorry. 1 to 9 tomorrow, so I may or may not be on. And then 11 to 7 on Friday. So, again, may or may not be on. Hey, don't talk. Spilled your drink. Well, that's not good. Hi, Handle. Spilling my drink is how I killed my old computer. Girls that had a million plushies, and now they can be thrown in the wash. Yeah, mine is very old, though. Come over with some baking soda. Oh, I got one in my blouse. Oof. What color is the blouse? Is it white? Because from what I understand, white, red wine does not come out of a white blouse, from what I hear. All right. Enjoy whatever movie you put on, Bella. White and very thin fabric. So it might be fucked. Anywho, Just chatting, Maya. Speaking of movies, I should see about. I should really consider watching that My Melody Karomi tonight. I'm gonna have to watch next episode of Cyberpunk. But I need to watch another episode of Cyberpunk tonight. But after that, I might watch My Melody Karomi. I'll have to decide. Was it? Yeah, I just sort of lost track of time. Doing something and lost track of time for a few minutes. So it's 5 minutes late. Story games? No. Or yes, I will. Sorry. I thought you said delaying. Yes, I will be playing Symphonic Rain on Saturday, yeah. No idea, Uncle. Not sure if I will be watching it now at this point, or if my mom's just gonna watch it on her own. You made some videos about it. Cool, cool. So, Encyclopedia Britannica chose violence today. Encyclopedia Britannica posted that Shrek premiered closer to the end of the Cold War than to today. You're old. Can we process anything? It means the people who watched Shrek when it came out are really fucking old. You have to go. It's nice to hear my voice. Aw. Thanks, Gilface says, nice to see you here. Always glad when you can stop by. But yeah, people who watched Shrek back in the day are now old. For the record, I did not watch Shrek when it first came out. Because I didn't care. I was 16 when it happened. I was 16 when it came out. So, like, I'm still old. I know I did watch Shrek. When the hell would I have watched it? Probably watched it with Chantal. Probably when we were living together or something, maybe. The first time. Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence became a grandpa. They had kids hooked up and made a baby. Because they can have comedy running deep in their veins. That kid's gonna go into like electrical engineering out of pure spite. Yeah, they're gonna go into a career that is like not the least bit funny. They're going to avoid comedy. Here for supper? I haven't had supper yet. I'll be eating after the stream. Nepotism. I mean, he'll still benefit from nepotism. Buttercup says she loves me. But not enough to tune in. I understand. I understand. I wouldn't want to tune into me either. She's not home. Fair enough. Fair enough. I suppose I'll give her a pass this time. Half green pepper, half onion, sweet and sour sauce. Team pepper. Half team pepper. That sounds fucked up. What's a team pepper? Pepper that hasn't fully grown up yet? I do prefer my peppers to be ripe, you know. Though not too ripe. You don't want them overripe. We're doing Buttercup's job. Which means I suppose I should do her job too. Because it's a couple minutes until Tylenol. That's been in the toilet longer than I thought. Yeah, I've had that happen. Sometimes you do just get a real long poop. Wondered why my foot fell asleep. Yeah, I've had that happen too. Though I think generally, if my leg falls asleep, it's usually because of like, I don't know, just the way my legs are positioned or something. You know, like I might have one leg laying on top of the other in an awkward way. Did your book wish list? Don't think I have. Man, I feel like I need a full time job just so that I can afford to start buying books. Will you be updating it? Earth Day? It is Earth Day. I forgot about that. 5,000 books in there. Um, Whether I update it depends on whether I see, like, any references to good books. Yeah, like if I see somebody talk about, oh, this book's great, and I check it out, it's like, oh, hey, that book does look pretty interesting. How does this say? And I trusted you on that, Uncle Buck. I trusted you, and you betrayed me. That's what I would be saying if I cared. Get a PO box we can send you books. I know, I know. Calendar and said Earth Day. Better went and so that's it tomorrow. Stupid calendar. Lackluster frame. I'm fine. I'm in my normal frame of mind, which is just generally lackluster. We Day and Earth Day are always close together, and that's beautiful. Indeed. Indeed. And a hoodly doodly. Earth Day is not something I really care about anyway, so. Why'd I turn into Ned Flanders? I don't know. Because I grew up watching The Simpsons. Excuse me. Ferocious Beast from Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. Well, I've never actually seen that one, so. Recycle sodium of it. I mean. I recycle to the amount that's necessary. Maggie and the Ferocious Beast is Canadian. Aired 2000 to 2002, so that. Hey, pause. I might have heard the name. It's possible that I heard the name. Compost. Yeah, because I'm like required. Series of shorts in 1998. and then full-length episode on Nickelodeon in 2000. And then Teletoon. Hamilton Hawks. So it's like, does the show take place in Hamilton? Or like, or I should say, like it. I know it takes place in Nowhere Land, but in the real world, does the girl live in Hamilton? You were two. You don't know. That's right. I forgot you're just a wee child. You're just you're just a weird. You're just a wee bear. You're just a wee bear. But yeah, funnily enough, I would have been too old for that show. Would I like to live in Hamilton? No one would like to live in Hamilton. If you knew anything about Hamilton, you'd know that nobody wants to live there. Hamilton is the Cleveland of Ontario, of Canada. I heard a nickname, but it wasn't good, but I can't remember what it was. It's often called the toe. Yeah, like, you know how Cleveland has a reputation for being a shitty city? That's Hamilton for Canada. BG is called toe. Cleveland has some loyal football fans. Yeah, Hamilton doesn't even have that. So yeah, like I said, no one wants to live there. Drew Carey used to make jokes about the Browns constantly. He was from Cleveland. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he regularly made fun of Cleveland. And of course, there was comic book writer Steve Gerber. Man, did he ever hate Cleveland. Though I'm not sure if he actually lived there or not. Got to be loyal to be a Browns fan. People who lived in Cleveland would drive down and watch Bears games. That's funny. So many views and opinions associated with the U.S. for Canadian. To be fair, when it comes to Cleveland, that it's cultural osmosis. And just in general, like there's a lot of cultural osmosis between that Canadians get from the U.S. We live right next door to you, and U.S. is very much an entertainment juggernaut. U.S. it's a lot of entertainment that we get up here. Because a lot of Canadian entertainment tends to be pretty low budget. Like if you want comedy, for example, you can really only watch Just for Laughs rerun so many times before you want something different. Though we did also have Corner Gas. Hey, Gingers. Like your book collection back there? Thanks. We got my actual bookshelf here. They're not really visible. Yeah. Your collection. Yeah. All right, I gotta blow my nose. Be back in a minute. Or water. Gotta blow my nose and get some water. Be back in a minute. Buttercup, hey! And yes, I did remind her of the Tylenol. And Sheath and Uncle Buck also filled in for you for my dinner. So you don't need to worry about that. Uncle Cup. Yeah. Exactly. Uncle Cup. Exactly, Buttercup. Exactly, Buttercup. Uncle Buck did that. Uncle Buck did that. All right. Bye, Buttercup. Yeah, back to why we watch a lot of U.S. television. Like I said, a lot of Canadian television tends to be low budget. I will say that did end up working out well for. So yeah, a lot of television, a lot of Canadian television just wasn't very good, especially back when I was a kid. A lot of Canadian television just honestly wasn't particularly great. We did eventually get Corner Gas. Once Corner Gas started, that was like, holy shit, we finally got a genuinely great Canadian TV show. I mean, Red Green was good back when I was a kid as well. Like, when I was a kid, we had Red Green, and that one was fun. But Corner Gas is like, wow, this is like, and Kids in the Hall as well. Kids in the Hall was brilliant. Ginger is my little buttercup at the sweetest smile. Three Amigos famous one. Yeah, like Kids in the Hall ranks as like one of the all-time great sketch comedies. Corner Gas ranks as one of the all-time great sitcoms. Legitimately a top 10 sitcom. Not top 10 Canadian sitcom. Top 10 sitcom. Or at least English language. Like top 10 English language sitcom. Because I don't know. Maybe Germany has some great sitcoms as well, but I don't know. UK also watches a lot of American shows. Yeah. I have to pay a tax on all the television usage. That's crazy. Degrassi. Degrassi was Canadian. But I never watched that one. That one did seem to be, from what I've heard about it, that one does seem to have been a pretty solid teen dramedy show. Still, Corner Gas, legitimately one of the absolute greatest sitcoms, English language sitcoms of all time. Top 10 English language sitcom. Honestly, can't recommend it highly enough. You want to go to Scotland? So do I, honestly. Never heard of it. Of course you haven't, because it's Canadian. Americans never hear about Canadian shows. But it's about a small town in Saskatchewan called Dog River. Like one of those like sort of towns that you just drive through on the way to somewhere more interesting. Though Saskatchewan, is there anything interesting there? But watch on Patreon. Yeah, I could watch an episode or two there. And yeah, it's so yeah, very small town, um, small population that's very weird. Mainly focuses on the gas station and the diner that's connected to it. Those are sort of like the two main locations where most of it takes place. Is just a gas station and a diner, and it's just weird conversations. I mean, there's other places. You know, there's a bar. There's main character's parents' house is also another major location that we see a lot of. Um, yeah, every once in a while there'll be something at like a town hall or out in a random field. There's also out just out in a field. They go out in a field pretty regularly. I will say one of my favorite things about Corner Gas. I do also need to promote my Patreon more. I keep forgetting to do a post about it. One of my favorite things about Corner Gas is the lack of romance in it. The first season had a bit of a will they won't they between main character Brent and Lacey, like who moved. Yeah, so his character Lacey, she moved to town in the first episode to take over her aunt's diner. So she's like a city girl, Toronto, I believe. She's a city girl moving to a small town. So fair amount of comedy out of her figuring out small town life and everything. Um, yeah, there's first season had like a will they won't they between those two characters, between Brent and Lacey. First episode of the second season uh, dropped it, and it's just nothing. They just did not bother with the will they won't they shit after that. It's like yeah, they won't. So for the rest of the series, there's virtually no. Every once in a while, there'd be an episode about somebody having a romantic interest. Local dumbass Hank dated a girl from the rival town in one episode or something like that. Yeah, every once in a blue moon they do something, but very rarely. For the most part, it was just They didn't bother with it. I don't know. There was something refreshing about that because not a lot of sitcoms that just do not bother with stories about dating. Don't get laid. At least not that we see. They're excited lately. Assuming that nothing comes up, assuming everything is normal, 8 o'clock Eastern. But yeah, like how many sitcoms just do not bother with romance at all, or like dating? Like how many sitcoms just do not care about stories about dating? I feel like most sitcoms, dating is like one of the big things, especially if like sitcoms about adult characters. Oh, good night, Hack. Like sitcoms about adult characters, their love lives are huge elements of it. Not necessarily the only thing, but they're a big deal. They're a big part of it. Is the characters' love lives. So Corner Gas just going, fuck love lives. We're gonna talk about curling. We're gonna do an episode about curling. we're gonna we're gonna do an episode where the town decides they want to build the world's biggest hoe, and all the jokes will revolve around the fact that it's a big dirty hoe. Yeah, there. It's just an episode built around a local diner losing the F and E uh, letters from the top. So the character has to start saying F and E. Where's my F and E? And like hillbillies from the Great North. I mean, kind of like I said, it's small town. It's small town life. Small towns are weird. Small towns dudes are sometimes weird. Yeah, it's just a lot of like really stupid plots and jokes that are just really funny, but nothing about love lives. Because like I said, every sitcom deals with the characters' love lives. And for Corner Gas, like I said, first season they had a will they won't they thing going, but then they decided, you know what, fuck that, we don't want to do that. That's just boring. Will they won't they shit, it's boring. Nobody fucking cares. Everybody fucking hates will they won't they. They won't. We're dropping that because it's just going to be cliched bullshit otherwise. And it's refreshing. It is very refreshing. And it all leads to an absolutely incredible punchline at the end of the movie. Because they did, like, after the show ended, a couple years after the show ended, they got back together to do a movie. And throughout the movie, uh, Brent's mother really wants grandkids. So she's determined to get Brent and Lacey together. And like sort of keeps dropping hints that both of them miss or ignore. And then right at the end of the movie, um, Brent and Lacey kiss, and like everyone in the diner is shocked and wondering when that happens. And it's like, he asked me out a year ago. I said yes in case this wasn't clear. it's, it's like after the show, so like after the show had ended, he finally asked her out, and they were together, and they did date, but nobody knew they were dating. And then when his mom mentions grandkids, Lacey's like, "Oh no, we talked and we decided we don't want kids." It's just it's such a great punchline that like after the show ended, like they after years of not after years of not bothering with will they won't they, only after the show ends are they like, yeah, fuck it, why not? It does feel, it feels very Canadian as well for them to, for the show not to do that kind of thing. Not to do romantic, romance stories. He's your lobster. Apparently so. There's something weirdly Canadian about them not doing dating stories. I don't know. Canada likes to be a little bit weird compared to the US. We often like bucking expectations. I feel like that's a very Canadian thing, is sort of like, what would be the natural way for this to go? Let's do something, let's do it the other way. Let's do the opposite. Welsh goes in French. I mean, Quebec does. Outside of Quebec, not really. But Quebec, yeah, a lot of, like, Quebec makes a lot of their own shows that are in French. And then, they also do, like, they also take English shows, then, dub them into French. Yeah, I do feel like Canadian humor is kind of fucked up. We like sarcasm, we like passive aggression. We like a little bit of the absurdist. I've watched a couple people do reactions to, like, best jokes on, like, the funniest corner gas moments. And it's one of those things where it's like, man, you take these jokes out of context and they make no fucking sense. Like, the jokes only make sense when you watch the actual episode. It's like, jeez. Like, when you know what's going on, it's hilarious, but when it's just out of context, like, this is not this would not be particularly funny on its own. It's all right. I can do a corner gas episode. I'll try to watch the first episode of Corner Gas soon. Everybody should watch that show. Like I said, it is so fucking good. When's from? 2000s. When did it run from? (2004 to 2009). See, I ran from 2004 to 2009. Movie came out 2014. Then there was actually an animated series that ran 2018 to 2021. Never did watch the animated series, actually. Surprised I've never heard of it. Like I said, it's Canadian. How many Canadian shows have you heard of? Maybe Kids in the Hall? And the one that was mentioned earlier, Degrassi. But I mean, that one, fucking Kevin Smith has talked about that one, being a huge fan of that one. So, makes sense to have heard, for Americans to have heard of that one. Kids in the Hall. Definitely gets talked about in discussions of sketch comedies. Bob and Doug McKenzie. Yeah, they're from SCTV. Bob and Doug. I don't think they ever had there was never a Bob and Doug McKenzie show. It was just as a skit on SCTV. And sure, people might know SCTV again, because everyone from SCTV went on to have a good career. I've talked about that before. Fucking everybody from SCTV went on to have a really good career. John Candy, obviously. Eugene Levy, obviously. Catherine fucking O'Hara, huge. Oh, the little nerdy guy with glasses. He was in he was in the Ghostbusters movie. He was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Oh shit! Why am I forgetting that guy's name? The dude from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis obviously was huge. Just fucking everybody on that show. Watched SCTV as a kid. Yeah. So did I. Via rerun. Because again, Canada requires a certain amount of Canadian law requires that TV show a certain amount of Canadian content. And it was just cheaper to show to air SCTV reruns for 30 fucking years than it was to make anything new. Yeah, I've said before. SCTV might not be this sketch comedy where the cast went on to have the most success, but I feel like it's the one where the most cast members had success. Yeah, like there were plenty of people from Saturday Night Live who didn't really end up going anywhere. Whose careers ended up kind of stagnating after they left the show. But that wasn't a thing with SCTV. Even if they didn't have the biggest roles, a lot of them, even if they never had the biggest roles after leaving, they continued to have good roles, good careers, fun careers. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like Red Green, I suppose Red Green, some success in the U.S. Like there are some Americans who know Red Green, and there are some Americans who do know Corner Gas as well. But by and large, Canadian shows just don't make it in the U.S. because the U.S. already has a lot of shows. Spaceballs. Obviously, I have watched Spaceballs. It's a good one. It is a good one. I don't know that it's not one of Mel Brooks' best parody movies, but it is a good one. Does have some very memorable moments and lines. Objectively speaking, it is probably one of Mel Brooks's weaker uh, parody films. Like doesn't have the biting commentary, biting social commentary that Blazing Saddles had. Um, it doesn't have feels like it doesn't have quite the same level of loving parody that Young Frankenstein had. Or it doesn't feel quite as loving a parody. It almost feels like kind of a cynical cash grab, honestly. I like it, but it does have the feel of like a cynical cash grab. You know, Star Wars is hugely popular. I'm gonna make fun of it. And get some money out of it. That said, it is probably also his most popular one. So much so that it's happening with the sequel. Anxiety. Never watched that one. All right, still scheduled for 2027. All right. Honestly, the one thing about the Spaceballs sequel that actually does interest me, Rick fucking Moranis is back. Fucking Rick Moranis. He hasn't acted in like 20. He hasn't acted in like. He hasn't acted since I was a kid. You know, he retired from acting when I was still a kid in order to raise his own family, his own daughters, after his wife died. Yeah. 91. 35 years. All right, actually, he apparently has done a couple things. Or actually, yeah, he was in the Flintstones 1994 Flintstones. So 97. 97, he basically stopped acting altogether. Yeah, he did do a few things in 94, 96, 97. He did another Honey We Shrunk. He did some voices here and there, but only a couple things. Yeah, comes out next April. Comes out 1 year. It's scheduled for, I think, it's scheduled for April of 2027, so it comes out a year from now. And it's gonna have Rick Moranis again in his first live action acting role since 1997. So, I haven't read or producer. Not really. I mean, like he's done a couple minor things here and there. Comedy album, he's released a couple comedy albums. Done a couple of voice acting gigs, but very, very, very sparse. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get going. I'll try to come on tomorrow. Might also depend on what time I get off work. If I get let off early, I might help. But because like he dedicated himself to his family after that. Like his wife died in 91, and he like really pulled back in his acting. And then 97, he was like, okay, no, I'm my family, my daughters. He was dedicated entirely to his daughters after that. So anyway, thanks for watching. And good night, everybody.